This next segment contains descriptions and images of police violence. We turn now to Mississippi, where 6 white former police officers who called themselves the Goon Squad have pleaded guilty to raiding a home and torturing 2 black men earlier this year, after first trying to cover up their actions. Some of the officers face life in prison. On January 24th, court records show the deputies raided a home in Braxton, Mississippi, after a white neighbor of one of the officers called them to complain there were black men staying there. The officer texted the others, quote, "Are y'all available for a mission?" That night, without a warrant, the officers burst into the home, handcuffed, beat, tasered the 2 men, Michael Corey Jenkins and Eddie Terrell Parker. Also sexually abused them with a sex toy with shouting racial slurs. One of the officers put a gun in Jenkins' mouth for a mock execution and pulled the trigger. The bullet lacerated Jenkins' tongue, broke his jaw, exited through his neck. This is U.S. Attorney Darren LaMarca last week announcing federal charges against the former officers for the attack.
But not only did they brazenly commit these acts, but after inflicting serious bodily injury by firing a shot through one of the victim's mouths, they left him lying in a pool of blood. Gathered on the porch of the house to discuss how to cover it up. What indifference, what disregard for life.
After the attack, Michael Corey Jenkins was actually charged with a felony based on methamphetamine the officers said they found in the raid. But records show that was a lie, and the charge was dropped. In fact, the deputies planted drugs to devise an excuse for the raid and also stole surveillance video from the house. Their body cameras were off. Court documents said the officers used the name Goon Squad, quote, because of their willingness to use excessive force and not.
And I bet these 2 Jakes still probably forgave him. Or say, oh, all white people ain't bad. Give me a break. But anyway, with that, shalom, shalom. First thing and foremost, I'm going to give all praises and glory and honor that's due to Yahweh Ba'ashim, Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashim Rakakwadash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone. Blessings and salutations to the hopeful elect. Noise in the gospel, brother, of the standard of Yahweh Ba'ashim, Yahweh Shai, wherever it may be. What you looking here is 6 Edomites, 6 devils. I mean, they accountants, like the scriptures go into the witness of the accountants that testify against them. You see this top devil in the left-hand corner, probably was the ringleader of it all. And you got the one beneath him. The one underneath him is you can see the demonic spirit in these men, and that the hatred that they have for so-called blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans, predominantly you Negroes, man. This is why I made the analogy yesterday. Like literally, we're literally in the middle of a damn. We're in the midst of a rat trap that haven't collapsed down yet. We're literally on the palm of Esau's rat trap. At any moment, if he decides to close that trap, he can get us at any given moment, man. Like, we're literally at these devils, at the mercy of these devils. Because, hey, they really thought they was going to get away with this. Beat the hell out of a man, sexually assault him, violate him, stick a dildo up his rectum, and then put a gun in his mouth and pull the trigger. That's attempt murder. That's total degradation right there, man. Like, I'll be suing the shit out that goddamn police department, man. But this is what we keep telling you, blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans. That the so-called white man he ain't even began to show us horns yet. You think this was horrendous, what they did to these 2 Jakes? Just wait until the Most High give them the green light to open up on the rest of our people. It's gonna get bad, man. You know what I'm saying? Because, hey, the Lord he's warning Jake. He's tired of playing games with you Negroes, man. You know what I'm saying? You Jakes have been playing games for far too long with the Lord's word, man. And it's to the time now he's ready to open up on you. Okay? Because, I mean, honestly speaking, that's a very traumatic experience. Like, to the point, who knows if you could really recover from something like that? Especially you getting physically violated with a sexual instrument. Fuck nah, man. That'll take away your manhood. But this is why you Edomites are gonna pay. Okay, just like the demon I did the video on, the last video about that woman crying because she has no money. Well, you know what, man? This is the reason why we don't feel sorry for you, because of what the hell your male counterparts do. And the fact about it is you co-sign for what they do. Okay? You so-called white women, don't get it twisted. Just because you want Jake and Jake is actually dealing with you, that don't take you off the hook from getting your ass beaten in slavery. Because a lot of you were the reason why Jake got their rods cut off in slavery in the first goddamn place, man. You know, you're going in, you would coerce Jake to deal with you. And then when Jake don't deal with you no more, you basically go get mass on him and say that he tried to grape you, or that he had some type of sexual obscenity towards you. And before you know it, Jake is literally getting a rod beat off them. You see? Which is the anger of the Heavenly Father, man. But these men, these men, you could see the devil in them. I mean, to the point, these two guys on the left are really, in the guy at the bottom on the right. I mean, like they say, looks could be deceiving, but hey, I respect them more because you see it on their face. These are men that you know, if you see in the streets or whatever, or if they're cops, you steer straight, you steer clear of these men, because they have nothing, they have no good attention towards us. And this is how they feel about all our people, man, okay? But it goes back to the curses, you see? So this is the book of Deuteronomy 28 and 49. It says here, for Yahweh shall bring a nation against thee from far, from the ends of the earth, as swift as an eagle flieth. And that's the ultimate key indicator that this is talking about the nation of Edom, okay? Because we do know that the sign or the emblem of the so-called white man, going all the way back into the Greeks, was the eagle. Okay, and they adopted that sign through various incarnations of their rulership, even today. This is why they have the eagle as the pinnacle of the American flag, because that's the bird with the most pride, and it's the highest flying bird. You know, prime example, like when you go to Six Flags, or mainly Six Flags Great America, the one of the first roller coasters that was ever built in Six Flags Great America, which is over Gurnee, Illinois, is called the American Eagle. The oldest ride, I think that ride was built like in the 40s or something, man. Probably longer than that. But that ride has been around for some time. But it's like one of the highest rides, and it's all white with the American stripes on it, man. Matter of fact, let's look it up real quick. No, it's not important, but just for edification purposes. American Eagle. Six Flags. The American Eagle, which is a fun ride, by the way, you know. But yep, this is the American Eagle. Very high up. It's white, red, and blue, if you can see it. You know, they even got that joint you can go down backwards, which you know. But this is basically the pinnacle of it. The American Eagle, man. You know, one of the first roller coasters they've created for this particular amusement park. No coincidence. But anyway, it says, a nation whose tongue thou shalt not understand. A nation of fierce countenance. Okay, now look at this. These are fierce countenance if I ever seen it. These devils, man, I mean, they look like they don't want no look. They like whoever want. They call themselves the Goon Squad. These are men that if you seen them in the street and they looked at you like, man, he look like he want to do something to me. Because this is how they feel about Jake, man. Okay, especially down south. When you down south, Jake's ought to know better, man. That this man is he's the devil that the Bible talks about. You know, like this comment said, this is sickening. Lord, I hope them officers reap every pain and suffering they encounter on others. They will reap it. Okay, the Bible says they will reap what they sow. But it says, a nation of fierce countenance which should not regard the person of old nor show favor unto the young. Okay, and they didn't show favor unto the young. Like, look what happened to Emmett Till, all based on a predicated lie. They said that the boy whistled at the girl, thought he was trying to hit on her, and later on that night they abducted him and they put him to death, man. Which find out that Emmett Till had like a speech impediment. So under the most tense of situations, or like a lot of anxiety, they said he used to whistle because he couldn't really enunciate his words, but he had a speech impediment. So certain people substitute that out of frustration and anxiety and fear by whistling. Okay, but yet Emmett Till was 13, 14 years old from Chicago, and they beat that boy to death, man. He was unrecognizable. Okay, so how much more was coming to you devils in your fucking nation? You think the Most High you think he gonna forget this, what you've done to his people? Yeah, the Lord said put us in hell and fuck us up, but nigga, you kept going. To the point the Lord gotta stop you from whipping us. You still beating us. You know? And it says here, and he should eat the fruit of thy cattle and the fruit of thy land till thou be destroyed, which also shall not leave thee neither corn or wine or oil, or increase of thy kind or flocks of thy sheep, till he have destroyed thee. And he shall besiege thee in all thy gates until thy height and fence walls come down, wherein thou trudest throughout all the land, and he shall besiege thee and all thy gates throughout all the land, which the Lord thy God have given thee. And this is really going into 70 AD. All right. But nonetheless, man, this is hell. You know, this is our punishment. You know, this is the book of Baruch 4, and I'm gonna start at verses 4, and let's start at verses 14. It says, "Let them that dwell about Zion come, and remember ye the captivity of my sons and daughters which the everlasting have brought upon them." So ultimately, the Lord has brought this upon us, but Esau, he beat us when our iniquity had an end, meaning he kept forward in the affliction, meaning he didn't let up on us. It says, for he had bought a nation upon them from far, a shameless nation. Okay, and Esau has no remorse, no regard. He's proud. Okay, he's all about blood. It's like when he see Jake, it's like a piranha. It's like a fresh fish in water, man. He's like a piranha. They smell blood. And it says, a shameless nation and of a strange language, who neither reverence old man nor pity child. Okay, and that's the point. They didn't pity our children, even to this day. This is why you have 187 clinics and those you know what days, those ABORTION clinics. This is why you have them. Okay, this is why you have Planned Parenthoods, why you have the day after pills and all this other stuff, because it's another way of them emptying our nation. All right, but it says he had bought a nation upon them from far, a shameless nation of a strange language, who neither reverence old man nor pity child. These have he carried away, dear beloved, the children of the widow, and left her that was alone, desolate without daughters, man. You know, but overall, man, Yahweh Shem Yahushua has to redeem us from the hand of Esau Edom, because for the simple fact, man, if the Lord does not redeem us, we're through. Okay, we're through, period. And we are through, because this is the book of Lamentations 2. And I'm gonna start at verses, matter of fact, let's start at verses 4. Lamentations 4, and I'm gonna start at verses, let's start at verses 11. It says, and the Lord have accomplished his fury, and he have poured out his fierce anger, and have kindled a fire in Zion, and have devoured the foundations thereof. But the kings of the earth and all the inhabitants of the world will not believe that the adversary and the enemy shall have entered into the gates of Jerusalem, because we was known as the city of peace. We was protected. It says, for the sins of our prophets and the iniquities of her priests that have shed blood of the just in the midst of her. They have wandered as blind men in the streets, and have polluted themselves with blood, so that men could not touch their garments. Okay, but going down here, verses 17, it says, as for us, our eyes as yet fail for our vain help. And in our watching, we have watched for a nation that could not save us. Even though that was going into the Egyptians, but fast forward today, the modern day Egyptians. They hunt our steps that we cannot go in our streets. And our end is near, and our days are fulfilled, for our end is come. And our persecutors are swifter than the eagles of the heaven. And they pursued us upon the mountains, and they laid wait for us in the wilderness. But the breath of our nostrils, the anointed of the Lord, was taken in their pits, of whom said, we under his shadow shall live among the heathen. But rejoice and be glad, O daughter of Edom, that dwellest in the land of Uz. The cup also shall pass into thee, and thou shalt be drunken, and shall make thyself naked. So this judgment that you're putting on our people that you're commencing against our people is getting ready to be recompensed upon you. Okay, because for the simple fact of what you've done to the children of Israel. Okay, you beat, raped, robbed, murdered, stole, and had all types of ill doing towards us, man. Okay, this is why it says here, Joel 3, and I'm gonna start at verses 19. It says, Egypt should be a desolation and Edom should be a desolate wilderness. For the violence against the children of Judah, okay, and one knows men Judites, so-called black men, all right, because they have shed innocent blood in their land, okay? And that's what you devils did, man. You continue to put hell on us even when the Most High told you to stop. So now the Most High got to come and forcefully remove us from your fucking hands, man. And it's going to be a pleasure on putting hell on you fucking devils, man. Because you don't know when to stop. You know? Ezekiel 35:5, because thou hast had a perpetual hatred, perpetuous continually, and has shed the blood of the children of Israel by the force of the sword in the time of their calamity and the time that their iniquity had an end. Okay? We supposed to have been out of this fucking place already. But it says, therefore, as I live, says Yahweh thy power, I will prepare thee into blood, and blood shall pursue thee. It says, thou hast not hated blood, even blood shall pursue thee. But thus would I make Mount Seir most desolate, and cut off from it him that passeth out, and him that returneth. And I will fill his mountains with his slain men, and in thy hills and in thy valleys, and in all the rivers shall they fall that are slain with the sword. All right? And that's what's going to happen to you Edomites, man. Thus says the Lord. So with that, all praises and glory and honor that's due to Yahweh Ba'ashim Yahushai. And with that, Shalom and the Abba Shalom.